everyone, Cindy here, and I just finished hosting my second VIPKid meetup, and I thought that it might be helpful for me to share with you my how-tos in hosting a VIPKid meetup. Before I even start to fill out the meetup submission form, there are a few things that I do like to focus on. All of the meetups that I have hosted or am in the process of planning have all been geared toward meeting a specific need. My first meetup was an introvert-friendly meetup, and I had read a lot of posts on an introvert VIPKid teacher group, a lot of teachers lamenting, wishing that they could go to a meetup, but they really, because of introvert-related issues, just couldn't bring themselves to go. But they still really wanted to be able to go and maybe get swag. So I thought we must have an introvert-friendly meetup. So I had made a post asking the Facebook introvert world what would exactly entice them to come to a meetup. And they gave me a lot of really good feedback, so I was able to cater this meetup to specifically help introverts be able to be involved as much or as little as they wanted to, and it was a success. And my next introvert-friendly meetup is happening at the end of August. My second meetup was created because my children were constantly asking me for their very own Dino shirt, and the VIPKid store online only had kid shirts to toddler size, and my children are older, so again I decided let's make it a meetup. I reached out to a local creative arts guild for help. So they helped facilitate, and they actually made it 10 times better than what I had envisioned originally. Needless to say, my meetups are created out of meeting a need. I find that this step can shape a lot about how the meetup ends up being itself. I remember when I was looking for places for the introvert-friendly meetup, I was looking for bookstores that could help facilitate the meetup because reading books is a very natural pastime for introverts. But I could not find one that could quite accommodate us. But then I found the perfect marriage with Barnes & Noble Kitchen, because half of it was a bookstore, half of it was a kitchen. So we were able to meet in the kitchen, the restaurant area, and if people needed to, they could steal away and go hide amongst the books if it was getting to be too much, where the main meetup was being held. We nearly took over the entire place, but it was perfect. And one thing that I noticed was that everyone was having so much fun just talking and getting to know each other that no one really utilized the bookstore part of Barnes & Noble, and so it made me think that maybe next time I don't necessarily need to have it in a bookstore itself. So for my next introvert-friendly meetup, we are going to have lunch in a 3-story restaurant, so if they do need to get away from the rest of the group, there are other floors they can escape to. I'm thinking for my next shirt painting meetup, I'm going to try to find a like business, like the Creative Arts Guild, in a different city and look into doing a hashtag squad goals with Meg, Mike, and Dino. But it really depends on if I can find the right venue that can facilitate that. So, venue is very important. As you are planning, know that you will not be able to meet everyone's criteria in a single event. Just try to make your meetup as inclusive as possible. Some people need their meetups to be kid-friendly because they are going to have their children in tow. Some people need to have the meetups on weekends. You will find out what works best. Once you have a date, make sure you plan it out at least 4 weeks so you give VIPKid enough time to send you that wonderful swag bag in the mail. Speaking of swag, there's lots of different things you can do to add to the swag that they send you in the mail. Some people make little gift bags for the people that are attending their meetup, and I've also seen really cute Dino Star cookies that's been all decorated. They're adorable. But it's all up to you how extra you want to be. Will you be providing refreshments? Is it going to be a potluck? Or are you going to be at a restaurant where people need to be bringing money in order to pay for the food that they order? All of these things need to be figured out before you fill out your meetup submission form. I like to make my Facebook event page first. This you need to create on your own personal page as an event that is public that you can then share onto all the Facebook groups that you think would be interested in coming to your meetup. I shared the introvert-friendly meetup on the Introvert VIPKid teacher page, even though I know that a lot of them wouldn't necessarily be able to come to my meetup because they're all over the country. I wanted to maybe spark some interest and an idea for them to be able to do one of these kinds of meetups for themselves. And we actually got a teacher who was visiting from St. Louis, and that was awesome to be able to have someone come from so far away and make it to my very first meetup. So it doesn't hurt to put it out there for everyone to see, because someone might be visiting and might want to come to your meetup. Once I've created my Facebook event page, then I go ahead and I fill out the meetup submission form. At the end of the form, they make you create an Eventbrite account. Now this is a really good way to be able to have a better idea of what the head count is going to be going into your meetup. My only issue with this is that it can be redundant and confusing if you also have a web page that's been created by the venue, like my last one, because they needed to be able to know how many t-shirts to silkscreen beforehand and have them pay for them. So there are some people who only signed up on the Eventbrite page and not with the venue, and luckily they made one extra shirt, so everything was okay, but having two different places to sign in was a little confusing and a little tedious. So hopefully we can think of a solution for this so that doesn't happen again. I like to post funny memes and related questions to the meetup to help keep it in the forefront of everyone's mind who is interested in attending my meetup. An example for one of these kinds of posts is I made a walkthrough of the venue for the introvert meetup for those who might be a little bit more anxious about going to a new place they had never been before. I had a lot of positive response to that, and it might be something that would be good for you to do even if it's not an introvert related meetup at all. I increase the frequency of these kinds of posts as we near the meetup day. Having everyone wear orange shirts is a good way to make it easier for your event to be found, especially if there are people who are coming to your event that have never been to a meetup or don't know anyone going in. Another thing I've seen utilized is balloons. That's a good way to draw attention with the eye to where your event might be, but be careful to make sure that they're necessary. We got some balloons for our meetup yesterday and they weren't needed at all. If we had them on the outside of the building, it might have made sense, but there was nowhere to attach them, so when we brought them inside, that's where we were. There's nobody else. You were there. So they were just decoration. I purposefully didn't have any icebreakers for my introvert-friendly meetup because introverts hate icebreakers. But one of my favorite icebreakers, if you can call it that, is something that we did at Chinese New Year meetup that I was a co-host for, and it was a photo scavenger hunt. We had a booth at a much larger event, so as people came and went around the whole event, we had them look for certain things that we knew that were around to take pictures with, and make sure that they did #VIPKid Texas so that we could take a look, and whoever had the best pictures got to win a raffle prize. Not only did this get the attendees excited to explore the event, but it also gave us a chance to allow VIPKid to see what a great meetup that we were being able to host. Now, I did create an icebreaker for a meetup that a friend of mine was throwing using my badges that I had created and a Dino bingo card. And and it was really fun. We had written out what different badges you could earn in the little spots, and you had to find someone who had earned that badge. And once you had a row, you called Dino, and everyone who had earned that badge got to take home their very own little badge, and that was really a lot of fun. So if you like that idea, I will post my Teacher Pays Teacher account down below that you can check it out. It's all free. Just go ahead and download it and you can use it at your next meetup. In order to get those 175 tokens for hosting a meetup, you need to make sure that you scan in or take a picture of your sign-in sheet and fill out the follow-up survey after your meetup's all over, and remember to send them all of the wonderful pictures that you were able to take of your meetup. Not only is this required, but one of those pictures could end up in the teacher update that's sent to us weekly. And if you are having a labor-intensive activity like painting a t-shirt, it might be a good idea to ask someone who doesn't necessarily want to partake in the activity to come and be your photographer. I thought of that very late in the game for my last meetup, but I am so glad that I did, because I wouldn't have been able to get any of those pictures because I was so focused on my t-shirt and my kids' t-shirts. So I was very thankful to have had my friend come and take those wonderful pictures. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. There could be other teachers out there that want to be able to have that same kind of meetup you have envisioned and would love to be able to help you make that a reality. If you have any questions about meetup ideas, please post them in the comments. And if you liked this video, subscribe so you don't miss out on any new content. That's it for me. This is Cindy signing off. May your meetups be successful. May your meetups be fun to plan. And may your swag be Dino-licious. Bye-bye.